Hey, what's up guys? It's Kevin here with Fandroid.com, and this is our review of the Motorola Droid 3. As you can probably guess by the name, the Droid 3 is the third Droid for Verizon. The Droid was the Android smartphone that really started the entire craze. For the first time in this series of phones, the Droid has moved up to a 4-inch screen as opposed to the 3.7-inch screen on the first Droid and the Droid 2. This is a QHD display. At the bottom here you have your 4 capacitive Android buttons and a microphone. On the bottom left of the device we have the USB port and an HDMI out. On the right side of the phone we have a volume rocker, but we don't have a dedicated camera button. The top of the phone features a 3.5mm headphone jack and a power on-off standby button. Here you'll see the Droid 3's 8-megapixel camera. It's capable of 1080p HD video capture and it has a LED flash. Down the bottom of the device you have the speaker and an additional microphone for noise cancellation. Around the back you'll notice the Droid 3 has moved to a battery cover that's pretty much the full back of the phone as opposed to the sliding door. That'll be good for people who were losing their battery cover because it would slide off as you took the phone in and out of your pocket, with the Droid 1 especially. The Droid 2 not so much with that problem. To remove the battery cover you just grab it up top here and pull back and it comes right off. Inside you'll see the battery, a slot for your SD card, and a SIM card for the Droid 3's global capabilities. This will work on GSM and CDMA networks worldwide. Inside the Droid 3 you're going to find a 1 GHz dual-core TI OMAP 4 CPU. And now the piece de resistance, the Motorola Droid 3's improved slide-out Qwerty keyboard. Thanks to the 4-inch screen, Motorola was able to increase the size of the keyboard, adding in a 5th row of dedicated number buttons, improving key spacing, and making it so much easier to type on. This is probably the best feature of this phone, and it's the best keyboard we've seen on a Droid phone so far. As you'll see, the Droid 3 features the new Motorola Blur on top of Android 2.3 Gingerbread. It's pretty much the same thing we saw back on the Droid X2 and other recent Motorola phones that have this new Moto Blur interface. So you'll see you got your home screens which kind of flip with a new 3D animation. As usual, you press the home button to take you back to your main home screen. Pressing the home button again is going to launch your 3D view of your current home screen. You can just jump to whichever home screen you'd like. You've got your sortable apps tray, which you can sort between all apps, your recent apps, downloaded apps, VCast apps, and whatnot. Taking a look at the apps that ship on the device, you'll see that quite a few come pre-installed. Amazon Kindle, Blockbuster, NFL Mobile, GoToMeeting, Slacker, just all the usuals that have been coming on Motorola handsets recently are right here to be found in the Droid 3. Just like you'd expect with Moto Blur, you have your full array of widgets for social networking, messaging, email, toggles, then you have your Verizon widgets also, and your basic Android widgets. One thing that I'd like to see Motorola do that a bunch of other companies have been doing with their custom Android interfaces recently is the drop-down menu with your toggles right up top for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, satellite, GPS, and that sort of thing. It makes it really easy and quick to do that, and it saves the trouble of having to put a home screen widget right there to control it. So we're not going to spend too much time looking at Moto Blur. We've covered it in other reviews for the Droid X2 and other recent Motorola handsets, and pretty much nothing changes here. It's what you'd expect from Moto Blur. It works really well on the dual-core processor, snappy, quick, smooth. Here we're taking a look at browsing on the Motorola Droid 3, and it's pretty much what you'd expect from a larger screen Android device with a dual-core processor. Nice and quick, nice and smooth actions. Much improved over older Droids. If you own the Droid 1 or Droid 2, the larger screen real estate makes a big difference here. But you can see very responsive. One thing we haven't mentioned yet that is important is that the Droid 3 is not on 4G LTE capable, so it's going to still be using 3G data speed, so that does take a little bit away from the experience compared to other 4G phones on Verizon. That about does it for the Motorola Droid 3. Compared to the original Droid and the Droid 2, this one easily takes the cake. It's the best in the series so far, with the improved keyboard, the dual-core processor, the bigger, clearer QHD display. Everything about it is improved in a good way. The lack of a 4G LTE radio is a bit disappointing, and it's going to be kind of the thing that's really might make a decision for you. Do you want that really nice keyboard, or do you need a phone with a 4G LTE speeds, future-proof on that next-gen network? It's going to be a tough call. It's tough for me to make, but if you're looking for a really nice messaging phone, a top-end smartphone with a great Android experience, the Droid 3 is definitely one to consider. It's available on Verizon now.